The people there, the last time they had a huge storm was Hurricane Katrina in 1969, and there was a perception that nothing can be that bad again. My name is Morey. In August of 2005, Hurricane Katrina struck the Gulf Coast, and at that time I lived directly on the water in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, and worked for the Jackson County Building and Planning Department. I would say that at that point in my life, I knew that hurricanes are serious business, but I didn't know as much as I know now. Before the storm arrived and affected the Gulf Coast, we covered everything in our office with sort of like a tarp, because we had a lot of old paper maps, our computers, equipment and whatnot. But we were thinking that there could be a leak in the ceiling from a lot of rainfall. Not that the building would be full of 7 or 8 feet of water, that all of our government buildings would be wiped out. We never could have imagined that type of damage. When my wife and I were trying to decide whether or not we would evacuate, there were plenty of people that we knew that had lived there their whole life that had no plans on leaving and didn't feel like we needed to go. Now, at the time, my wife was 9 months pregnant, and because of that, we decided we didn't want to stick around. So eventually, we made it to Jackson, went to the hospital, met with them, talked about, her treatment, what we would do, just sort of getting ready for the baby. Eventually, the storm came through Jackson. It was lights out in the house, the power's out. Everything outside is swaying and moving and shaking. The fence in the backyard was ready to give at any time. And you just sort of wanted to get through it and make sure everybody was safe. Once the storm died down and we went outside, we discovered there was a lot of damage. Giant trees through people's roofs, the garages, just smashed onto cars. Anything you can imagine was all over the place, all over the streets. Just a horrendous mess. So we ended up going to the hospital and gave birth to my daughter, Olivia. And that went fine. The hospital had power at that point. Power was on in most places in Jackson. Given that my job with the county was going to be key to the recovery process, as soon as I knew that my wife and my daughter were going to be well taken care of, I needed to get back to the coast as fast as possible. When I finally got back to the coast, I couldn't believe the amount of damage that there was. I never would have imagined that I would see that level of destruction. I don't want to be dramatic, but it's almost like a post-apocalyptic scene. It looks like a bomb went off. For the recovery, since I worked for the county, I had to meet with everybody who had a damaged house. And you get a lot of stories from those folks who talk about watching houses float down their neighborhood street like they were in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. Those are things that don't leave people. So one of the big takeaways for me in terms of having experienced one of the largest hurricanes in our history was that it's not just about rebuilding a road or how much debris there is. The number one thing is want to save lives. What I would tell people is to take it seriously, and that if there's any warnings or indication that it would be a good idea to leave, you should go. It's not worth taking the risk to your own life or your family's lives.